Paramahamsa Pri Vrajagacharya Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvanda Bhakti Raghava Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skanda Biti Founder Sharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jaini Thai Gaur Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Tatsurindritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabhadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sukhadevi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bharinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So there's a second short mantra. You have to listen carefully, maybe less known or not known, in glorification of Mother Cow, whose name in the spiritual world is Surabhi. Mother Surabhi is the original cow in Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual world. And in many places in the Shastra, there is a glorification of Mother Cow through the following short mantra, which you can repeat after me also. Om Surabhyai Namaha. Om Surabhyai Namaha. Om Surabhyai Namaha. Om Surabhyai Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. It's just like when you get arrested, you have to surrender, right? So this is our sign of surrender. Our topic this evening, we put it on the board, very clearly defined. It is very much in reference to, everyone try to understand, the 50% of Srila Prabhupada's unfulfilled mission. I think most devotees know, or should know, that Srila Prabhupada on a few occasions referred to Varnashrama, establishing of Varnashrama Dharma as 50% of his mission. So this evening I want to discuss this topic, which is a very major topic, very important topic as well. And more so because you are all here in Braj Eco Village in the Philippines, and you are directly connected with this theme. So in the last few months, and also last year and the year before, Krishna is very kind to allow me to travel to different places to try and highlight, to try and explain in more detail what this actually means. So this evening, I will speak about a few topics, all connected with this theme, the theme called Make Vrindavan Villages. What does it mean when we read or hear this expression, Make Vrindavan Villages? It actually is referring to one of the primary goals and objectives of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which is to reintroduce or re-establish a Vedic culture, isn't it? So unless we understand the different aspects of what Vedic culture is all about, obviously we will not be able to re-establish a Vedic culture. Modernized way of living, society, which has been developing, so-called developing, for the last maybe about 200 years. We are in many, many ways getting further and further away from this theme. We're getting further away from, in other words, what is meant to be the Vedic culture. Modern way of living in the cities especially is in so many ways opposite to what the Vedic culture is teaching us. It's important for all of us, regardless of our age, our gender, whether we are, Prabhus or Matajis, whether we are having some big position in the temple, or whether we have no position, so-called. We're all actually, that's an important aspect of this theme. We are all endeavoring to become devotees of Krishna. And to become devotee of Krishna, it is not so easy. There are many hurdles, many challenges, because we live in a society, modern day society, which is not very much interested in Krishna. Most people don't even know the word Krishna. Most people don't know about Vedic culture, and therefore we have a very big task, very big responsibility to introduce that culture. But unless we ourselves are very clear about what is that culture, unless we ourselves are living that culture in the day-to-day life, then naturally it will be difficult to convince others. So there are three main topics, two or three main topics I want to cover that hopefully will help all of us to get a more clear understanding of this theme. My glasses there, no? Yeah. And naturally, the more we are understanding, in other words, we're trying to understand what was Prabhupada's thinking, what was Prabhupada wanting us to do in terms of introducing this society that he named as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So the first thing I'd like to introduce is what is called the concept of four movements. We are already known as the Hare Krishna movement, but what we often don't know or don't understand is that within that movement, Srila Prabhupada divided. He identified 4 specific phases, and it's very helpful to know. Actually, unless we know about these 4 phases, then we will not know where we're supposed to go with so many activities that are there in Krishna consciousness. So that is one thing. Secondly, I want to discuss about what is called the 3 gifts of nature. This is found in the Mahabharata, as nicely explained by Grandfather Bhishmadev, that society is meant to be centered on 3 specific areas that are called 3 gifts of nature. And the third topic I would like to discuss has to do with what is called the 4 Vedic sciences. In Sanskrit, that's called Chatur Vidya. Chatur means 4, and Vidya generally means knowledge or sciences. And again, these 4 Vidyas, these 4 sciences, are an integral part of what we call the Vedic culture. So this presentation is connected with a project we have in Sridham Mayapur. Specifically, it's called Sri Nandigram. Mayapur is like quite a big place. Who has been to Mayapur here? Anyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. 6, 7, very good. So Mayapur, is approximately 750 acres of land. And then even beyond that, there are communities that are developing. We have many Russian devotees, for example, they have their own community practically. The place called Rasamrita Kunj, near the Jalangi on the east side. And there's Gora village. Different kinds of communities are being established. So I'm part of one community that's still less known, and that is north of, for those who know Mayapur a little bit, north of Rasamrita Kunj, and it is called Sri Nandigram. Not Nandagram. There is Nandagram and there is Nandigram. Nandigram means Nandi, Lord Shiva's carrier, bull. Like you have 2 bulls here, Krishna and Balaram. I had darshan of Balaram. I didn't see Krishna yet. So Sri Nandigram, the entrance is from what is called Molapara Road. And it's spread over maybe about 11 acres of land. So we have a group of devotees have about 1.5 acres of land and developing what is called Varnashram Resource Center. Yeah, Varnashram Resource Center, which is in Sri Nandigram in Sridham Mayapur. Yeah. And from this Sri Nandigram, we are establishing the foundation for a Varnashram college, for a Gurukula that we're calling Gita Pachala Gurukul. We have, I'll be showing a few slides, a few pictures of our Sri Nandigram. And in the last few years, we have been having courses during the month of Kartik. Devotees from different countries have been coming to attend courses in relation to Varnashram, in relation to make Vrindavan villages. So let's begin with this idea of four movements. Every devotee within our society should know that way back in 1956, okay, let me ask a quick question. Srila Prabhupada, we know he started his Back to Godhead magazine. What year did Prabhupada start his Back to Godhead magazine? Anyone know? Raise your hand. Haribol, Hare Krishna. 1944. 1944. Srila Prabhupada. How old was Prabhupada at that time? Okay, quick. Who's good in mathematics here? How old was Prabhupada in 1944? Considering that he was born in 1896. I gave it away. He was 48 years old, isn't it? 44 plus 4. In most countries, it makes 48. I think in the Philippines also. So, Srila Prabhupada was still a householder, married, had some children, had a business. Prabhupada was a businessman. But we know from the beginning, from birth, Prabhupada was fortunate to be born in a Vaishnava family. And as we know, when he was 26, actually in 1922, so 22 plus 4, 26, Srila Prabhupada met his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then from that very first, not that container, that's my DD container. I have another container which is probably empty. Well, it should not be empty. Anyways, it's, yeah. So Srila Prabhupada received, as we know, the order from his Guru Maharaj to introduce the teachings of Lord Chaitanya all over the world in the English language. So here we are in the English language, speaking about make Vrindavan villages. So in other words, Srila Prabhupada, even from birth, was already a devotee, and then he received this instruction from his Guru Maharaj at a young age. And so in 1944, he began his Back to Godhead magazine. And then a few years after, in 1956, just to give a little history. So in 1956, Prabhupada wrote one essay, an important essay, in his Back to Godhead magazine that is called Gita Nagari. Gita Nagari. Who has heard about Gita Nagari essay? One. Okay, you have to tell others about Gita Nagari. So Gita Nagari, what does Gita Nagari mean? What does Gita mean? It's short for Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? So Gita Nagari means that place where we are living the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Gita Nagari. So in that essay, Srila Prabhupada, he speaks about four movements. And I'll just mention them briefly. I think you can easily follow. And again, it's important for us to know these four movements that refer to four, we could say, phases. So the first movement, you can either make some mental note or a written note, yeah? Then you can share that with your devotee friends after. The first movement, Prabhupada called it referring to chant the holy name and to the distribution of books. So the holy name and books is part of the first movement called Sankirtan movement. Then Prabhupada, here, he coined the second movement as temple worship movement. That means after going out in the street or in some park somewhere and chanting Hare Krishna, some people, they will be curious to know. And so we need a place. Just like you have this place here, just like we have a temple in Manila, and we have so many temples all over the world. So that second movement, temple worship movement, where people can come, they can be introduced to Krishna or to Gaurnitai, and they can know more about what is Krishna consciousness. Then the third movement, Srila Prabhupada, he called it spiritual initiation movement. Spiritual initiation movement. It means that when people come and they are interested and they join, then they need to be introduced systematically. They need to be trained, isn't it? It's like Bhakta program, for example, in many temples, or like we have Bhakti Shastri, different types of educational programs, training, so that we know more about the philosophy, and we become convinced that yes, this is actually the mission of life. We should all understand that there is one main mission. There may be many small missions, but there's one main mission of life, which is to become self-realized. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that we have finally, after a long time, attained this human form of life, we should know the primary reason or purpose is to become self-realized, to know our original spiritual nature. So that is called spiritual initiation movement. And now we come to the fourth one, finally. The fourth one, Prabhupada called it, or gave a name which is initially a little bit maybe difficult to understand. He called it classless society. Classless society. And by classless society, Prabhupada meant a society where every person, regardless of his position as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or as a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas, everyone, regardless of their material position, situation, is a devotee of Krishna. So in that sense, classless. We are all endeavoring to become devotees of Krishna. So over the years, actually Prabhupada, from the very beginning, he introduced these four movements within our society. We know he, especially in the early days, we didn't have many books, and then we would go out for many, many hours, I remember. When I joined, that was in 1974, only Back to Godhead magazine was there practically, and we would go out for 6 hours, 8 hours chanting every day. I said they also. These three gifts of nature, no society can properly develop, no society can be wealthy, and people cannot be healthy also unless we follow and understand these three gifts of nature. Anyone would like to guess? I couldn't hear. Farm.
Cows, land. Cows and land.
Okay, cows and land. Yeah, farm means actually cows and land. Cows, land, and yes, cows is the first one, land is the second one, and the third one, which is, very often we have cows and land, but if we don't have the third one, we won't know what to do with the cows and the land. with the third one is knowledge. Knowledge, yeah. Knowledge. What to do with the land, isn't it? What to do with the cows. There's so much land and so much grass is growing. The grass. So this is very nicely explained by Grandfather Bhishmadev in when Grandfather Bhishmadev, at the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, he is lying on his bed of arrows, and then he begins to give instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj, who has now become the new emperor of the world, isn't it? The whole battle of Kurukshetra was fought to re-establish Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya saduskritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, to re-establish dharma, the principles of dharma. And therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj is also known as Dharmaraj. And therefore, Grandfather Bhishmadev begins to speak to him, and he gives many instructions. One of the important instructions is in relation to these three gifts of nature. And he's telling how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, has given to mankind these three gifts of nature, by which, if we properly understand them, if we properly utilize them, if we properly protect them, worship them, because all three of them are like mothers. Cow is mother. We say mother cow, isn't it? Nature is also mother. We say mother nature. And knowledge is also mother. So Mother Saraswati, and the goddess of learning. So what is the activity of mother? Mother is meant to nourish, isn't it? Mother nourishes physically a child and emotionally as well. Without mother, a child cannot develop, cannot grow properly. So these three mothers, cows, land, and knowledge, are meant to nourish, are meant to help us live both materially and spiritually to meet all of our different necessities of life. Yeah. So that's why we cannot speak about village. What is Vrindavan village all about? Vrindavan village is, we find cows everywhere. The main activity every single day for the vast majority of the residents in Vrindavan is to look after cows, number one. And also the vast majority of residents, in addition to looking after cows, they produce food, isn't it? They're working with the land. So this is connected actually with what the third topic we will speak about, what is called the four vidyas, or the four sciences. So these three gifts of nature are only possible to appreciate, to understand, to properly utilize when we have land, isn't it? Because it's only when we have land that we can have cows. It's only when we have land we can grow food, isn't it? Yeah. But none of this is possible unless we cultivate knowledge, and not only spiritual knowledge, but also material knowledge. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, he wanted that we establish Varnashram College, isn't it? In 1974, yes. So that means like 51 years ago. Srila Prabhupada gave that instruction that in all of my centers, in all of my projects all over the world, we should immediately start Varnashram College. And to start a Varnashram College, what do we need? minimum, only one thing we need, one Brahmana. one Brahmana who is living in that village, in that community, and he will begin to teach whatever knowledge he has, isn't it? If we have someone who is of a Kshatriya nature, because Kshatriyas, they are meant to organize. Organization is also important. So a Kshatriya may organize, because we may not all have a Brahmana living in our village, but we can, with modern technology, bring Brahmanas online. And they can give courses, isn't it? Yeah. So that is the second topic. First topic was about the four movements, understanding that actually the first three are meant to help prepare us to go to the fourth one, isn't it? By distributing books, chanting the holy name, establishing temples, and then training. Then all of this is to help us live the more natural Vedic lifestyle, which is actually in the country, which is in connection with Mother Nature, in connection with the cows. So in connection, in other words, with the three gifts of nature. So the fourth movement, not the fourth movement, the third topic I was mentioning has to do with the Chatur Vidya. This is very important. Actually, this is introducing the topic of Varnashram College. So Chatur Vidya, this is standard knowledge that we find in the Vedic literatures. That society, to organize society, we need these four aspects, which are meant to be systematically taught. The first is the first of the four sciences, which to a large extent all of us in all of our temples, we have been probably more focused on that first one. We have not taken up so much the other three, at least not on the kind of scale that we could or should. So the first one is called philosophy, the science of philosophy. What is the philosophy of Krishna consciousness? Which of course we find in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why all of us, we should be hearing on a daily basis, we should be attending like Srimad Bhagavatam class, because within the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is also the basic teachings of Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? So that is the first of four sciences that is called in Sanskrit Anvikshiki. Anvikshiki means the science of philosophy. The second science is called Trayi in Sanskrit, and Trayi means the science of education, that is for Brahmanas, some specific books of knowledge, which include, of course, also Bhagavad Gita. And these are the topics that normally Brahmanas, they will be learning like in Gurukula. The third science is called Dandaniti, that is the science of politics. One may say, what do Hare Krishna people have to do with politics? Why bring politics in our temples? So, of course, we don't want to bring bad politics, because in Kali Yuga, mostly we only know about bad politics, but we should know that there are also good politics. Krishna is known as the best politician, isn't it? So, politics has to do with how society should be organized. It's a very important aspect of the Vedic culture, how to protect the principles of dharma, how to protect citizens, how to protect land, how to protect animals, especially cows. These are all duties and responsibilities of Kshatriyas. So Dandaniti. And the fourth one, which is especially connected with what we are trying to do here, is called Varta. Varta means the science of economics. And what is the simple definition of the science of economics? Economics means how we're meant to live, how we are meant to meet our different material necessities of life. Or in a simple way, how we get food. What is the more simple way to get food? And it's not to go to the supermarket, although it may seem more easy to go to the supermarket to get food. But that is not the natural way to get food. So according to Bhagavad Gita, what is the simple definition of Vedic economy? Vedic economy means how to become wealthy. Who would like to become wealthy? Everyone. Yes. But Vedic culture has a different understanding of wealth than modern day society. Modern day society is how much money you have in your bank account. Or how big is your house, how many cars you have, how many cell phones you have. Nowadays, many people have more than one cell phone. So, Vedic culture is very nicely and very clearly defining everything, including what is wealth, what is the science of economy. And that is summarized in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishi Goraksha Vanijam Vaisha Karma Swabhavajam. So Krishi means agriculture. Krishi, and then Goraksha means cow protection. If one has land, then one who knows the science can properly utilize the land for producing food, number one, and also for keeping cows. By having area where the cows can graze, and from both cows and land, all of our necessities of life, sarva kamadugamahi, as explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, all of our material necessities of life, they come from the land and from cows. So it means that actually those who are connected with Braja eco-village, you're very, very wealthy. But you may not know you're wealthy. and you may not know how to extract that wealth also. Your wealth is hidden. You're walking on your wealth every day. Yeah. Prabhupada would say that underneath, in the ground, there is gold. You have 9 hectares of gold here. You're very rich, very opulent. Yeah. But there is a whole science, a whole technique, a whole process, how to extract that wealth. Mother Bhumi, she is holding so much wealth, and she's anxious to give. But we have to follow the system and the process. Now in modern day society, we're not following that system. We're using all kinds of chemicals, we're using all kinds of machines like tractors and other big machines, and we're destroying the soil. This has been going on for the last so many decades actually. Over 50 years, 70 years, even over 100 years since the last century. We are very badly, all over the world, we're destroying our soil, we're destroying our planet. We are destroying the very means by which we can actually survive. Because without land, we cannot have proper food. And if we don't have food, we cannot live. We cannot be healthy, isn't it? So these four sciences are meant to be. Now we can go to our small presentation here. Actually, let's see. Have a clock here? Clock. Tick tock, tick tock. No, no tick tock. Every temple should have a clock. Where? Did you see? Huh? On the altar. Well, the curtain's closed now. It's probably a small clock. Already 8 o'clock, eh? Yeah. So we will go to the movies. Is that okay? I have a short video. Actually, I have many videos, but I want to show you one small video. It's like what we call, what's it called? Like animation. What is animation? Animation is when you make animals speak, or even more, what is it? More ambitious, when you make rocks speak. I have 2 rocks who will speak to you this evening. 2 special rocks. So let's see. And then I have some pictures of our project in Mayapur, in Nandigram. And I also have some pictures to show about other projects in different countries. Not so many pictures, just a few. And also, we should finish, let's say, at the latest by 8:30. But before that, I want to also give some time for any possible questions you may have on what we have discussed. And I also want to introduce what I don't have with me, my magical card. This Swami carries a magic with you. Because with my magic, it's like a magic wand, magic wand. You touch on somebody's head and something mysterious happens. So my card is like a wand, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. You can bring it, yeah. Jaidev Prabhu carries very often my magic wand. Yes. So, yes. Well, this is the short animation, and let's see. Yeah, I'll use this mic here. It's actually, it's very short, it's about 7 minutes. And Hare Krishna. There is, we have what is called subtitles. Because unless you know German, who knows German language? Probably not many. If somebody knows German, you could follow the conversations. This was done by someone who's not exactly, well, I don't know actually. I don't think it's a devotee, but it's giving very important message. So I will play this, and then I will show some photos of some of our communities, and also bring you all to Mayapur to visit our Varnashram Resource Center. Probably good to put the lights off. When we go to the movies, lights have to be off. See, modern day technology, unless we go to the mode of ignorance, darkness, we cannot appreciate modern technology. Okay. I think this will be especially interesting to the small children and also to the big children. Yeah. Takes a few seconds for the sound to come.
mein Q. Ich glaub, da hinten ist auch noch eine. Hm? Hier. Sieh dir das an. Was machen die jetzt schon wieder?
They're building homes with wood.
Ich sage dir, da steckt System dahinter. Ich hasse Pflichten. Da ist die Eiszeit vorbei, man freut sich, Sonne auf dem Bauch, zack, sind sie wieder da. Oh nein, ich hab Moos auf dem Kopf. Halt, starke, verdammtes Mistrein. Hey, du, das ist genial. Sie bauen Gebirge für diese Dinger. Hm? Das ist Fortbewegung, das ist Transport. Hier der Weg, die Stadt, die Entwicklung, die Möglichkeiten. Junge, schau es dir an. Und der Schlüssel zu all dem ist das. Wow! Das ist ja noch mal gut gegangen. Ich will ja nichts sagen, aber du hast wieder gut Moos auf dem Kopf. Oh, was ist das? Was für eine Frage! Moos auf dem Kopf. Das ist Moos auf dem Kopf.
Lice. Can anyone summarize what is the message that you understand from this small video in 1 or 2 short sentences? Anyone? Yes.
It's like more of ignorance. They don't care what's happening or what's happening. Everything surrounding them. They just don't care. They just see what's happening.
People don't care about what is happening around them. Okay. Yes. Yes.
We make so much endeavor changing the land or the planet, and then it goes back and it's become a forest. Naturally, it just becomes a forest.
Okay. Means what we are developing, like in modern day society, eventually will again, yes, will not be lasting. This side? What message you're getting from this? Yes.
Modern civilization still goes back and back to zero.
Modern civilization?
After this reach its peak,
Okay.
goes back.
Yes, it means that very quickly, as we have seen here also at the end, building the roads, all the buildings come up very, very quickly. But then within a very short time, everything collapses and comes back again. So Prabhupada often spoke about modern day society or modern civilization as being very artificial. It is artificial. It is not sustainable. It means it will not last. It cannot last because we are not following the basic principles of dharma. Because we are actually going against nature, and therefore, at some point, this modern civilization will not continue, because the actual civilization, as we spoke a little earlier, is connected with the 3 gifts of nature, cows and land, not simply in building big high-rise big buildings. Okay, let's go to, this is actually one of our communities. We're just coming from there a few days ago. In Indonesia, we have a small village on the island of Sumatra, which is called Gita Nagari Baru. Baru means new Gita Nagari. And as you can see, there's a good number of devotees. These are students. We have our own school. Altogether about 40 plus families. And we just had the census given to us yesterday. Every time I go there, the devotee counts how many jivas, how many devotees. So we have 180 devotees living in that community. And we invite all of you at some point in the not too distant future to visit this community. This was started in 1999, so already 26 years ago. And Prabhu Kishora, who is here, was one of the early, I think you were helping with some of the foundation. Temple construction, yeah. And they have beautiful deities of Sri Radha Madan Gopal, as well as Gornitai, and also deity of Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev, which was carved by Muslim person. Right? We have two Nrsingadev deities in Indonesia. One is near Jakarta, in the temple of Sri Radha Govinda in what is called Puncak, the original first deities, first temple, where so many devotees over the years, they got trained. Now we go to Canada. This is in Western Canada. I am a member of this community. It's called Sharanagati. And that building, you see a red building, is actually the Goshala. And devotees are yoking some of our bulls. So like this, I'm just showing a few communities. This is in India, where they have started Varnashram College. It's called Kamyavan community. So they have many programs and seminars where they invite speakers, and they focus especially on producing natural organic produce. They also have a Goshala, maybe 25 cows or so. This is another place in India called SSKBK, Sayadri Sri Krishna Balaram Kshetra, where Prabhu Kishora also was instrumental in the early days, going back in 2004, maybe, something like that. 2003, 2004, yeah, with Bhagirath Prabhu and a few other devotees. That is near Udupi. Some of you may know Udupi Krishna. Now we leave India, we go to Africa. This is in West Africa, one of the many French-speaking countries called Togo. And the devotee on my right, with the greenish kind of shirt, his name is Kalarupa Prabhu. And those devotees surrounding him, they are building up, still in this early stage, community called Gita Nagari. Gita Nagari Togo. And this is our Varnashram Resource Center in Nandigram, I was mentioning. At the very back is actually the building Gita Pachala, Gurukula. In the center, cannot see it so clearly. We have a small temple. On the right side, where you see the flag, a red flag, that is a Yagyashala. We have regular jagyas being performed. And the gazebos you see in the front here, this picture is much better than mine here. Yeah, we have open classroom, Varnashram College. Classrooms are held there. And this small thing is for keeping grains. This is the traditional, I don't know if you have in Philippines here, in the villages, they keep the paddy. It is rat proof. Yeah, it's handmade, and but very effective. All the villages, in villages, every home practically they have. We also have a small Goshala between the Gurukul and the temple. So that's the structure. Jai Shri Sri Krishna Balaram ki. So we have Krishna Balaram deities. Krishna Balaram, they are the acharyas of agriculture and cow protection. And these are other, yeah, that's the Goshala we have. other pictures from the same location. Jai Shri Shri Gaurikai Ki Jai. This is the garden in the evening, and just a few other pictures. That's the Yagyashala. Yeah, very similar to the one they have in Indonesia, Gitanagari Baru. Yes. That's called silo where we keep grains and whatnot. This is the kutir for sannyasis, so I generally, when I'm in Mayapur, I stay there. We have a guest house close by. This is our mango orchard. Best time to visit is when mangoes are on the trees, usually in the month of April and May. So now is a good time. And we have whole classes there also in the mango grove. And some of our guests, devotees from some Gurukul boys coming from other states, and a few of our students learning Sanskrit and learning some of the martial arts, because martial arts is also part of Kshatriya training. Like that, this is our VIP guest house in the back. Yes. So the whole project is close to the what is called TOVP, the planetarium. Some of whoever's been to Mayapur has seen this large temple. So we are, yes, in the last 2 years I mentioned, make Vrindavan villages is the theme. There's an urgent need for all of us to understand the importance of villages. So therefore, in villages, it's only in villages that we can keep cows properly. It's only in villages that we can grow food. So our villages are in danger all over the world, our cows as well. And it's important for us to understand this fourth movement, as I tried to explain earlier. But for that, we need, of course, proper training. So that's why we have this Varnashram Resource Center in Srila Mayapur. We will be having again, this will be the third year, consecutive years, in the month of Kartik. So Jaydev Prabhu has been one of the students for the last few years. He'll be there again this year. And we hope to very soon start different regular courses as well. We should soon be coming out with our curriculum, both for the Gurukul as well as the Varnashram College, to help all of us actually understand more. There is this book called Speaking About Varnashram, and this is where my magic wand becomes important. This book is actually available. This book is containing 100% the different quotes and statements given by Srila Prabhupada regarding this 50% of his mission means Varnashrama. And so this card actually gives you access to different e-books. Anyone who has a cell phone, Jaydev Prabhu can show you how to either scan this QR, which is here, or if you have what is called an activated program called NFC on your phone, automatically just by touching, the link will come and you can just download it. When you download it, can you show us what we'll see? One beautiful picture, I don't know if we can get access here. Beautiful picture of cow, is there? Oh, right. Not sure if we have connection here. So we can take a few minutes for, try to get that up so that we can show it in a few minutes. Actually, this is the link here. If you copy this link in the bottom, you can get this. Okay, this is what you were getting, right? So, in other words, you can carry mother cow with you all the time on your cell phone, which is very auspicious in itself. You can have darshan, and there's all kinds of nice information and e-books available as well. Let's take it. Hey, what happened? Okay. So it can take a few minutes if there's any question or comment before we close our session this evening. No question. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for this presentation. It reminds me some of Prabhupada's vision. So my question is about cows. Is there also some literature how to take care of cows?
Okay, the question is regarding whether there's any literature how to take care of cow. Yeah. Yes, there's all kinds of information. We also have, in India, we have a national ministry for cow protection and agriculture. We have within our society a global ministry also for cow protection and agriculture. There's all kinds of information. We have some on this link. For example, there's a section that will take you to some websites that give more information in regards to cows. The former minister for cow protection, my godbrother, Balabhadra Prabhu, for many, many years actually, was very active as the minister for cow protection and agriculture. He's been, for many, many years, developing a newsletter where he has all kinds of information regarding cows. It's obviously, cow is like one of the main topics for which there's all kinds of knowledge and information we need to cultivate. And if we are missing, if we're not having that proper understanding, then if we're missing that information, then naturally it makes it difficult. What is most important actually is that all of us, and it begins, I would say it begins there, all of us need to at least endeavor to understand what is Prabhupada's mission. And every one of us also should try to understand that we all have a particular role. We all have a particular place in that mission. We may not know now. We may not understand, okay, what can I do? Maybe I don't have so many skills. Well, that's why Varnashram College is meant to be established so that we can develop different skills that will help us to be part of that mission. So on the link, as I mentioned, yeah, the one in the bottom that's available on this card, it gives us that possibility of getting various information, especially the book speaking about Varnashram. What I would recommend, what I have been recommending, is that our devotees in different centers, different projects, once a week you can come together and simply read this book, at least a few pages, take half an hour, read and then discuss what a lot of the, I would say, a lot of the problem for us not understanding is that we've not sufficiently heard. We don't understand what Srila Prabhupada said and how he explained different aspects of this whole Varnashrama mission. So it means that actually we need to educate ourselves, and that education, systematic education, comes especially by hearing, by reading. We also, invite devotees to Srila Mayapur, where this college will be started, where already we are giving. We have devotees during Kartik, as I mentioned earlier, who come for it's a 4-week period. Although last year we had for 2 months, different courses that are very helpful. So when we go to a place where there are activities where we can learn, then we can take back this knowledge to our respective, projects and gradually introduce them. It's very, very urgently needed dimension or aspect of Prabhupada's mission, establishing communities and learning how to interact with the land, how to interact with cows, etc. like that. These are all very deep, profound sciences that requires some systematic training. And once we have this knowledge, then we can do miracles, actually, even on a small piece of land. Here you have big land. You have so much land that it's unless you have a good group of devotees, it's hard to keep up with the grass that's growing all the time. Cannot even cut the grass, Yeah. Any other quick comment or question? So devotees who would like to have this link, you can see Jaidev Prabhu. And we'll end our program. I'll just take not more than 5 minutes, as we normally do. We start with chanting the holy name, and we finish also with the chanting. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya, 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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Bolo. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Gauram Nitai, Jaya Gauram Nitai, Jaya Gauram Nitai, Gauram Nitai, Gauram Nitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Gaur Nandi. Jai Sri Hare Sankirtan ki, Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Primanande. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami ki.
Jayadev will be standing at the door with his magical card. Yeah. Okay.